Hey everyone, Waj Gaming here, back again with another video. Today what we got is we got a tier list, but we've got a tier list for only the seasonal sync pairs. This one was requested by you guys on Instagram. I did get a few followers, it did ask for this. So that's what this video is about. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, do smash the like button and also share the content around. And now let's get into the video. Okay, so we have here at the bottom with a pool of all the seasonal sync pairs that have been introduced into the game since the game's release. We're going to start off first with Octillery. Octillery, I'm going to put here at Don't Bother. It's one of those sync pairs that did come out originally. It was okay when it came out, then it got a rerun, and then when it got a rerun, it didn't get an EX. It is a tech unit. I mean, the moves are okay. It's got Octazooka, and Octazooka has a good chance of lowering the target's accuracy. It's got Scold, so it removes the frozen condition and also can leave the target burned. It's got Piercing Gaze, so the moves will never miss, and it can also raise its own stats. So it's okay. When I did summon it, I only got it at 1 out of 5. I didn't really want to get 2 or 3 copies of it. I thought, okay, let me just get it for the sake of just having at least 1 copy of it. So yeah, so if I was you, I wouldn't bother unless you really want it. We have so many better water type Pokemon and water tech units in the game now. I mean, me and Swampert, go for that, it's miles better. And this Octillery hasn't got an EX, so I'm sure when they do a rerun, it will get an EX. But yeah, so first one, Octillery, don't bother. Next one we have is Rosa and Delibird. Now Rosa and Delibird did also get a rerun. It was a Christmas unit in 2019. It got another rerun in 2020. Its moves are okay. It's got Aerial Ace and Draw Peck. However, it is a support unit, and we know support units in the game are really good. It's got X attack all and all the presents, so it can also make the move gauge faster and also raise stats onto the team. And it's also a good unit to have if you're using an ice team. However, when I say ice, I mean we all know there's not many ice type Pokemon in the game. There's Dewgong, there's Alolan Sandslash, there's also Galale. So we have some good ice type, but we don't have a pool of ice type Pokemon. So it's a bit difficult to have. I mean, if you're using it as support to raise stats, by all means, it's amazing. I've got this at 1 out of 5. I did get it all the way in the beginning. I never really thought that I would have needed it. However, if you are running an ice type Pokemon and you've got it at 3 out of 5, definitely it's one that you should have then in an ice team, because it can use Hell straight away. And then after you sync, you can use Alolan Sandslash, and then that can continue your Hell. So I'm gonna put Delibird as really good to have. So if you have it, it's good. I mean, you don't have to use it for ice. You can just use it for other purposes as a support to raise stats. So that's why it's really good to have. Moving on now to Alolan Sandslash. This unit I have 3 out of 5. And I've used it, and I've used it a lot in master mode. It is amazing. I love using it. I love using the icicle spear spam. It can raise its attack stats, critical hit, accuracy. It uses Hell after it sinks. It can heal in Hell. I mean, it's a good unit. Would I say must have? It hasn't got an EX, so it's a bit difficult to say, but I'm sure when they do a rerun they'll give this an EX, because we don't have any ice type Pokemon or ice type strikers that are EX'd. So it will be good to have as an EX. For the sake of not having ice type Pokemon in the game, and this is the best of the best, the creme de la creme, I would put it at must have, because there's not many ice type Pokemon. You have Dewgong, so if you do want to save up gems, you don't have to go for it. You've got Dewgong, which does a good job, and it can AoE hit. But Alolan Sandslash, my god, I've used it and I enjoy having it. Next one now is Lyra and Jigglypuff. It also came out when Alolan Sandslash came out. When it did come out, it was really good. You can AoE sleep after it sinks. It's got good move sets, it can recharge the move gauge, it can raise its stats. It is a good unit. However, because now we have more fairy type units like Diantha, Gardevoir, Xerneas, Togepi, I think this is going to come much more lower on the list because those other units will be a lot better than Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is also not EX'd, so I'm just going to put it here at okay. If you're a fan of Jigglypuff, go for it. It is good to use. And it's a good fairy type Pokemon. However, we have better fairy type Pokemon in the game now. So yeah, moving on now to Erica and Comfey. Now I have Erica and Comfey at 3 out of 5 and I've used it a lot in my teams. This can basically heal the whole team. You can use X Regen All. It's got 2 uses for it, and it can also have Layup, so it can heal the team as well as Gradual Heal. It can also use Draining Kiss, so it can also be used as a tank and like a vampire and just suck HP out and just raise its own HP back. So it is a bit like Xerneas, but we all know Xerneas healed the whole team. I mean, it's got Gradual Heal, but it can't heal the whole team like Layup. It was one of those Pokemon that I was thinking to EX. I wanted to do it, but then I was like, oh, okay, is it okay? It is a support unit. It's really good to have. Support units in the game, the more you have, the better it is, and the more easier it makes your life. So for that reason, I'm going to have to put it here at really good to have. So it is a good unit there to have. Especially there when you're trying to just gain more HP and you're losing HP and you really need it. So yeah, so it will go up there for me. Next one on the list is Togekiss and Skylar. Now Togekiss and Skylar, it's a bit 50-50 with the community. Some don't like it, some do like it. I'm one of those people that likes it. It's 50-50 because it's really hard to set up. It can sync nuke, but in order to sync nuke you have to inflict status condition, and as well as status condition you have to raise up your stats as quickly as you can, which to do both it is a bit difficult. And we don't have enough supports to raise those stats as quickly as you can for it to sync nuke. I think that's why it's 50-50, but I've done like 50k, 60k, 70k, 99,999 damage with Togekiss, so it is amazing to use, but it's just hard to set up. We do have good flying type Pokemon in the game. We've got Gyarados, which we're going to come to. We've got Pidgeot, we've got Yveltal, we've got Skyla and Swanna, so there are other options. So I'm just going to put it here at okay, only because it's 50-50 with the community. I've EX'd it as well. It's just a bit difficult to set up and it takes time. And especially if you're doing Mastermind and stuff, you do not have time. Okay, so yeah, Togekiss and Skylar put an okay. Moving on now to Acerola and Mimikyu. So this was a holiday Halloween event. And it came out with Mightyena as well and Halloween Hilbert. I only got Mimikyu at 1 out of 5. At the time I was looking at both of them, and then I opted for Mightyena, which if I'm looking into it now, I think it was the right choice. Mimikyu, it's okay. If you have it 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5, it doesn't really do much. If you really want it and utilize it to the max of its abilities, you need it at 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 Mimikyu, it's a bit like Drifbelm. It's got similar movesets, move styles to Drifbelm, and it can raise its stats. It's just, if you look at all the other ghost type Pokemon we have, I know we haven't got many, but for the ones that we have, if you compare it to Acerola and Mimikyu, I wouldn't really invest into it or have it in a team. It's got like Phantom Force, exactly like Drifbelm, so it can go invisible and then hit. With Boo you can raise your attack stats, and then there's always a chance to raise your critical hit, or defenses, special defenses, and then you've got Shadow Sneak as well, which doesn't cost any move gauges, it's like a quick move. So it's okay, but the stats just let it down. So for that reason, I'm just going to put don't bother, because we've got Drift Realm, and Drift Realm isn't getting any better. Moving on now to my Tiana and Halloween Hill bit, I'm going to put straight up here, it must have. It's 6-star EX'd it. We haven't got many ghost type Pokemon in the game. We've got Karen and Houndoom, which is good. However, this is on another level and it's EX'd. It's Sync Kanuka. It can raise its own attack, it can raise its own critical hit. If you see my Master Mode Madness series and my 2v3s, it's amazing, it hits hard. It can even refresh their own move gauge after a Pokemon faints. It can be yours or the opponent's by 4 gauges. So what can I say? It's a must-have. So if it does come out again, go for it. It's amazing, and we haven't got many ghost type or dark type Pokemon, so it does its justice. Moving on now to the New Year's seasonals, we have here Gyarados and Lance, and we have Lily and Rabombi. When I first tried to summon on them, I only wanted Lily. I wanted 1 out of 5 Gyarados, and then all of a sudden I got 3. So I was stuck with 3 copies. I'm not a fan of Gyarados. I mean, if you see my other tier list videos, I don't like Lance. It's just because, I mean, I like Lance in the games and in the anime, but in Pokemon Masters, I mean, that recoil damage, I just don't like it. However, his bounce grid, it's amazing. I mean, the only other option you have other than using a physical striker is using a special striker. And in terms of physical strikers, I mean, we've got Toucannon and we've got Bravery, but Gyarados hits a lot harder than them. But if I would compare it with Bravery does wonders in Master Mode. So for that reason, I am putting Gyarados and Lance at OK. It does hit hard with Hyper Beam and its sync move, and you can put it in a rain team as well, so it is versatile, but we do have other better units than that. Moving on now to Lily and Rabombi. Straight away, before even saying anything, I'm going to put it at must have, and I'll give my reasons why. I have this at 6-star EX. Using it in the game, it's amazing. It's probably the only sync pair that can raise evasiveness for the whole team +2, and if you got MP refresh, it can have +6 evasiveness for the whole team. It can self heal, it can raise critical hit, it can gradual heal the team after sinking. It's amazing, and if you've seen my 2v3 master modes, I use it in a lot of 2v3s, so it's just a must have. You need it. I mean, there's no other sync page you can get in the game that has what it can do, and it's a support unit, so you can use it as a tank to just dodge and hit. Moving on now to the Valentine's seasonals, we've got Alcremie and Whimsicott. These 2 units over here, when they came, it was like, oh, okay, are they good? Are they not good? And then we saw the sync grid, and then using them, my god, they are amazing to have. Would I put it at must have or really good to have? Is the question. The reason why is because we've got Diantha and Gardevoir in the game at the moment, and we've got Xerneas, and we know Xerneas is free to play. However, they do different things to those units, which makes them a bit better. Alcremie over here, what makes Alcremie special is that it can also do many things which other Pokemon cannot do in the game. It can also use Fake Tears to sharply lower special defenses. It's got Charm to lower attack, so it can lower stats of the opponent, and it's got House Sweet, so it can sharply raise attack, special attack, and gradual heal a selected Pokemon on your team. Which is really good. And it's got Ripple Effect 4 on passive, which basically means when it's used a move, it's got a good chance of doing it on the whole opponent. So it's a bit like Champion Iris and Hydreigon, in terms that it can lower stats of all the opponents in the team. So I'm going to put it up here at must have. It's really good to have. It's amazing. As well as Whimsicott, I'm also going to put it as a must-have. It can sync nuke, and I think the sync nuke on it is a lot harder than Gardevoir's sync nuke. So it hits really hard as a fairy type Pokemon. It's got AoE paralyzing. It can also lower speed of the opponent. It can use Moonblast, and it's got a lot of multipliers in the sync grid, which makes it really good to have as a sync nuker. Moving on now to the final two pairs which we have at the moment in the game. We've got, sorry about that, we've got Berg and Togepi and Mate and Lopunny. We'll start first because we've done so many fairies. We'll start with Mate and Lopunny. I'm going to put it up here at OK. The only reason being is because we have Lucario, which is free, and we've got Wally and Gallade, which you can get on any banner, and they are miles better than May and Lopunny. I mean, the only thing May and Lopunny is different to them is that it's got Potion, Move Gauge Refresh, but the downside is you have to wait until it syncs for it to be a fighting type Pokemon and for it to attack, which it takes a bit of time if you're trying to use fighting type or high jump kick as its move. I'd rather use Lucario and Wally and Gallade. They are miles better than May and Lopunny. So that is the reason why it's on OK. It's just because we have better units than it in the game. And finally, Berg and Togepi. I have this now at 5 out of 5. I did have some spare gems left over, and I wanted to get the support candy coins to get the candy support candy. So I just tried my luck and I got an extra 2 copies. So I have this at 5 out of 5. I'm using this. I'm going to put this as a must-have. For me, it's like a mixture of Blastoise and Swanna in one. And having them two in a unit in Togepi makes this amazing. I am going to 6-star EX Togepi when I have enough champion spirits. So you will probably see this in my pool of sync pairs soon. It will be EX'd. It can raise critical hit, it can raise attack stats, it can raise defensive stats, it can use a random metronome move, it's got Fissure. If you've seen it on YouTube and all of the social media, it has got Fissure, so it can one-hit KO if you're lucky. It can also heal the team if it's used a super effective move. I mean, I can go on and on about Togepi. I mean, it's really good. And also, if you pair Togepi with Diantha and Xerneas, if you have them, it's a bit like the Kanto trio. They're unkillable. They're amazing. I can go on and on about Togepi. I like it. So this is my list. Just to summarize: must-haves: Alolan Sandslash, Halloween Hilbert, Mighty NR, New Year's Lily, Rabombi, Dawn Now Creamy. We've got Serena, Whimsicott, Berg and Togepi. Really good to have. Delibird and Rosar, Eric and Comfy. Okay to have. It's up to you if you want to go for it. You don't have to. Lyra and Jigglypuff, Skylar, Togekiss, Lanta, Gyarados, May, Lopunny. Don't bother, Octillery. We've got Mimikyu. That's my pick. So let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Do smash the like button. Follow me on my socials as well. Do check out my Mastermind Madness series on Sundays with Charizard Mosh. Soon we will be having new YouTubers as well involved in the Sunday series, so do check it out. But yeah, that's all from me. I'll see you all for the next one. Take care.